Nothing beautiful ever started out that way. Every garden was once a seed in a pile of dirt. Every animal was once a writhing infant, helpless outside of another's protection. And every breathtaking landscape was once covered in magma, then in ice, then in toxins that ripped many species from the earth forever. But things grow, and things change, and life goes on, no matter what. We've had this garden for over 7 years. Tended to it for under 2. The neighbors have a mimosa tree. We now have its offspring. The spearmint is the only thing that keeps growing back. It even manages to grow up through the concrete. It's almost inspiring. For a long time, I couldn't bring myself to uproot anything that sprouted up. I wanted only to let the green things grow. And they did. But then the green things turned brown. And they stopped growing. And nothing else would grow up around them. I've been out in it a lot recently. And out beyond it, where white water babbles in spring rain, and the birds sing, newly uninterrupted by the constant roar of car engines. I wonder if they know what's happening. I wonder if they're glad. Change is the greatest constant in life. Removal and replacement, decay and restoration, death and rebirth. Many strange and wonderful things make their homes in the garden. No doubt this process has been disruptive. I try my best to always move them out of harm's way, but I'm sure they only see me as a force of chaotic destruction. Or perhaps they don't even recognize that there's someone to blame. Perhaps they only know that everything is changing, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. You know, it's remarkably easy to cut down a sapling. They're slim and made up of green tissue that hasn't had enough time to harden. But surprisingly, it's quite the challenge to dig one up. Even the most slender and feeble-looking ones have roots that twist and tangle and burrow deep into the soil, and it takes momentous effort to pry them out. They grow underground for a long time before they peek above the surface, which makes them quite consistently a lot more resilient than they look. People like to say that this pandemic will be the end of the world, but I disagree. I don't think it's strong enough. I never said it wasn't ugly. It is. It would be irresponsible to paint everything in rose tint, to let the messy and detestable fall to the wayside after it's been ripped from the ground and put on display for all to see, to let the unraveled facade of a perfect society regain its composure as if it never fell apart in the first place. I have lost many of the little things that made life enjoyable from day to day. I am among the luckiest. What we face now is a question, not that of if we can proceed, but how. If we will stand by while the remaining roots of old and unjust habits regrow, or if we will put aside whatever holds us back and rip them up the rest of the way. The question has never been if our society can survive this. It can. And a great deal of people will do all in their power to make sure everything goes right back to normal in the end. They will romanticize the idea of normal, leaving out the fact that it has always included unprecedented disasters that few are equipped to handle. They will use words like recover, not reconsider. They will echo rebuild, not remodel. Something will arise in the wake of all that has come undone. And the question has always been, will we choose to make it better? Things fall apart. That's the tragic but inevitable course of life. Foundations get ripped up, stuff gets worn down, and everything changes. But winter does not come without spring. And death does not come without life. What appears barren and desolate may just be the tilled soil of what will be a bountiful harvest. A population cut down but not torn up may just sprout into something even more magnificent than before. You wouldn't believe how much sunrise can look like sunset if you don't know what comes next. Nothing beautiful ever started out that way. So, in spite of where we are now, here's to creating a beautiful future.